Now let us understand the process of breathing. When we breathe in, we lift our ribs and flatten our diaphragm, as a result of which the chest cavity becomes larger, and because of this, the air is sucked into the lungs and it fills the expanded alveoli. As you can see in this diagram, when we breathe in, the chest cavity becomes larger, because of which air is pulled inside the lungs. And the exact opposite happens when we breathe out. Now let us understand one very important concept. As I told you, the branches of the windpipe are called as bronchi, and the branches of the bronchi are called as bronchioles. And these bronchioles, they terminate into alveoli, which are nothing but very tiny, small, balloon-like sacs. Students, these alveoli are very thin-walled, and the thin walls of the alveoli are closely surrounded by a network of blood capillaries. Blood capillaries are very thin blood vessels. So now let us see how exchange of gases takes place between the alveoli and the blood capillaries. During breathing, oxygen enters the lungs and then into the alveoli. So you can see oxygen entering the lungs, and from the lungs it enters into the alveoli. As I said, the alveoli are surrounded by blood capillaries which contain blood. So we have the network of blood capillaries around the alveoli. Let us magnify. So we have the alveoli surrounded by the blood capillaries, and the blood capillaries are surrounded by the body cells or the tissues. So let us see how exchange of gases takes place. This is the red blood cells which are flowing in the blood in the capillaries. Now the hemoglobin present in the red blood cells of the blood, they absorb oxygen from the thin walls of the capillaries. So here you can see the RBC, that is a red blood cell, and the RBCs contain a red colored pigment called as hemoglobin. Now this is the oxygen which is taken up by hemoglobin from the alveoli, and this oxygen is carried to all the tissues of the body by this hemoglobin. So it is hemoglobin which reaches this oxygen to all the tissues of the body. Now at the same time, carbon dioxide from the tissues is taken up by the hemoglobin and is released into the alveoli by diffusion, that is from higher concentration to lower concentration. So you can see carbon dioxide from the tissues is taken up by hemoglobin and it is given into the alveoli. And then we breathe out this alveoli. And then this carbon dioxide goes out of the body when we breathe out air. So you can see carbon dioxide going out of the body. Now, so it is the hemoglobin which helps in the exchange of gases between the alveoli and the surrounding tissues. So hemoglobin is also called as the respiratory pigment. During the breathing cycle, when air is taken in and let out, the lungs always contain a residual volume of air, meaning some remaining volume of air, so that there is sufficient time for oxygen to be absorbed and for carbon dioxide to be released. Now let us understand the exchange of gases in plants. As we know, plants do not have special respiratory organs like we have. Also, plants are stationary. That is, they are fixed at one place. They don't move about. And therefore, their energy requirement is less. And so, the process of respiration is slower in plants as compared to animals. And so, there is very little transport of gases happening in plants. But the gases are exchanged by the simple process of diffusion. That is from high concentration to low concentration. Now, during daytime, due to open stomata in the plants, respiration and photosynthesis occur simultaneously. So during photosynthesis, oxygen is released, and this oxygen is utilized for respiration. Then during respiration, carbon dioxide is given out, which in turn is again utilized for photosynthesis. But during night time, there is no photosynthesis in plants, and therefore no oxygen is released. So during respiration, only more and more carbon dioxide is eliminated.